I remember playing Myst when I realized I'm terrible at puzzle games. And yet, I still love Gunpoint.
This is a Plastic Knights video, reviewing games that came out a long time ago. This video does not contain spoilers. You're welcome.
You remember Mark of the Ninja? You know, that stealth platformer that let you kill people and be a ninja. Well, what if we took that concept of a stealth platformer, swapped the ninja part for spy, added a major puzzle element as gameplay, and added a story with branching dialogue trees and different endings? So what is this game? Gunpoint is a puzzle stealth game, with a heavy emphasis on story. It feels a lot like Mark of the Ninja, but the story is much more memorable, and the central puzzle mechanic makes it stand out much better than Mark of the Ninja ever could. The puzzle element is a little complicated to explain, but basically, most electronic devices in any building you're trying to infiltrate are connected by different colored circuits. You have to figure out the correct combination of circuits you want connected in order to execute your plan to steal computer files or take down the guards. In a really basic way of explaining it, say you have a door that is electronically locked, but it is on a red circuit, and there's a light switch nearby that is also on a red circuit. You can connect the two, flip the switch, and the door will open. This is one of several ways to execute this puzzle mechanic, and it can get pretty challenging later in the game. Challenging for someone like me who is terrible at puzzles most of the time. Except everything I just said isn't the most interesting part of this game. While this game is really good, the impressive part is actually behind the scenes, in the form of this guy, Tom Francis. This dude had no training in computer programming or anything related to game making prior to creating Gunpoint. After he played another indie game that was made by one guy, he decided to play around with Game Maker Studio, a piece of software that is free as of this recording. After he messed around with it for a while, he then set to work on putting together a prototype of a game he called Private Dick, on his own time. He was fully employed and did this as a hobby thing. He put the working prototype on his blog, not really expecting it to get a lot of hits or have very many people notice. After making some more progress on his game, he asked followers of his blog to submit art for his game. He was flooded with entries and couldn't believe people had this much interest in his game. Remember, this guy didn't know how to program or write code or anything just a few months earlier. He settled on a few artists and a musician to help him finish the game. He decided to go with this smooth jazz soundtrack. It's so smooth. It's so smooth I slid off my chair. You'll probably want to stay hidden from guards and such during your play. After all, you are a spy. A spy entangled in a web of conspiracies is you're framed for murder, and then someone else is framed for the same murder, and then shenanigans ensue. The story is really well put together, and the branching dialogue trees really add flavor to your experience with the story. The fourth wall humor adds an even better level to this story. As you can tell, one of the important characters that you totally quit paying attention after a certain point. The story is ultimately what sets this game apart from many of its kind, and I didn't have a problem with anything that happened in the story, so I don't feel the need to spoil it here. So what's wrong with it? While this can potentially be one of the best hour and a halves you spend with a game, this game is only about an hour and a half long, or an hour and 10 minutes, or maybe 2 hours. Your mileage may vary, it really depends on how bad you are at puzzle games. While there are 19 levels within this game, you can speed past most of them and only get stuck on a handful, due to the introduction of new techniques and more guards. A good comparison to this game is Portal. While I wouldn't ever fault Portal for being too short at roughly 3 hours of gameplay, Portal feels like it's the right length, and doesn't overstay its welcome. I felt like I wanted to keep playing Gunpoint and was slightly disappointed when the experience was over, seemingly too soon. Having said that, there is a high level of quality content here that rivals most games, regardless of whether they were indie or AAA developer level. This is a great game that everyone should play, a true piece of video game art, It showcases that making games can now come from people with good ideas, and is not limited to those with highly technical skills. This game is the future development of indie games and showcases just how far in accessibility, technology, and software have come. This game exists because somebody had a good idea and followed through with it. So, what's your good idea?